Well, everybody loves music for different reasons. I play to put my music out there. Emphasis on the word my, including that of my friends. Things that are new and special and sort of belong to us, but we'd like to get out there. If they don't, they don't. But I've always gravitated toward people who created, not just recreated. I'm not a great musician, but I can create some stuff that's at least unique. If you want to hear it, you got to come to me. I like bands that are the same way. If you want to hear Glass Harp's music, you got to go see them. Nobody else is playing it. So that's who I always gravitated toward, even as a kid, like Ron Arter and Dave Coleman in the band Drift in Ohio. Brooke Borden, a left-handed 12-string guitar player with a voice of an angel and an amazing songwriter. I mean, every bit as good as Joni Mitchell when she was even in her early teens. Left End was a rock band in Youngstown, Ohio. Glass Harp, world class. Icarus with Dave Morgan and Greg Smith. They, of course, they played a lot of popular songs, but they also wrote a nice percentage of what they played, and I preferred the stuff they wrote to the popular songs. In California, of course, I ran into a few. Mike Beck makes a lot of records. You can find him on Spotify. He's very good. There's Linda Arceo, Nancy Jones, Dana Larson, a woman named Cortana, whose band I actually played in through 2 lineups. And best of all, there was a band called Nectar of the Gods. All 4 guys wrote, all 4 guys sang. They all had 4 distinct personalities. Fantastic band. You can find them on YouTube. They did a farewell concert 10 years after they broke up, and I guess it's on YouTube. Some people say things like, well, I never heard these songs before, as though that's a bad thing. Well, you never heard Bob Seger's song before until you did. That goes for anybody, whether fill in the blank. Black Sabbath, Aerosmith, Bob Dylan, Chuck Berry, Steely Dan, Queen, Jeff Beck, Nat King Cole, even the Beatles. You never heard them till you heard them. Every favorite song in your life was once not there, and then it was. So times have changed. My friends and I used to chase musicians, singers, and bands that had at least some songs written themselves all over the county, all over the state, other states. We loved the new stuff, and we were still loyal. We didn't replace it like they seem to do now. Oh, I used to like that, but I don't anymore. Well, if we liked it forever. We were loyal. We didn't discard what we'd already found. We just added on everything new. And it becomes a shared experience. So keep your mind open to music. Your next favorite song might hit you at the very next Trygesis concert. One day when I was 4 years old, I was watching the painter paint the ceiling of our new house. And I asked him his name. He said, George. I just said, I don't like that name, and walked away. So I'm sure he valued the unsolicited opinion of a 3-year-old knucklehead, but who apparently hadn't evolved filters. But a lot of people do that toward music. There's no malice involved, or they're just an objective, if pointless, opinion when they walk away from your music, or they just say they don't like it, or they're not familiar with it. That story applies to music in that there are parallels where people just aren't going to like your songs. Others are going to love it. But the ones who don't will often tell you so in a very dismissive way. They're not being mean, they just don't care for it, and they don't understand your point of view because they're not creators themselves, possibly. You can improve your odds of being appreciated by, of course, trying harder, playing better, singing better, writing better. That goes without saying, though I just did. But playing for sure thing audiences is kind of a good thing. They're usually very small, like family, best friends, people who have become fans. If you have a small base, it can become a bigger base, but they wouldn't be there if they didn't get what you were doing. That's why they're there. So they're going to pay attention. So I don't care if it's 6 or 60,000. If they're there for that song, my songs, or whatever the band is that writes the songs, that's what I'm in it for. So if they're there for you and your music, you better cultivate that. That's pretty good stuff. And, you know, I'm not out there to convince anybody to like it. If I hear music I like it. Nobody has to convince me one bit. I was just blown away, of course, by the Beatles. First time I overheard a record playing upstairs, it was Return to Forever's Romantic Warrior album. Nobody had to tell me that that was going to change my life and improve it vastly. It just did. Still remember the first time I saw every great band I love. There was a first time. So there will never be the 90% level of agreement again like there was about the Beatles' greatness. That unity and common consensus was once ever event. What most people liked and loved. But keep trying, why not? Nothing stopped other Georges, Harrison, Thorogood, or Boy. Sorry, George.